This movie was criticized for coming out just 3 weeks after the Stoneman Douglas High shooting in Florida. The funny thing is, this movie was supposed to come out in October, but was pushed back to March because of the shooting in Las Vegas. That's probably a bigger statement on America's gun control than anything else.
Someone took my wife. Everyone involved is going to pay.
You look much better getting out socializing.
Not so much.
Well, whatever you're doing, keep it up.
Okay, I will.
Hey there guys, how are you? It's me, the Canadian Movie Buff, with a review of Death Wish. So Death Wish is not only a remake of the 1974 Charles Bronson movie of the same name, but it's also another adaptation of the 1972 novel of the same name. Bruce Willis plays the character of Paul Kersey, and instead of being an architect in New York, he's an ER surgeon in Chicago. What happens is that his home gets burglarized into, and his wife is killed, and his daughter is left in a comatose state. So he decides it's time for some good old-fashioned revenge, grabs a gun and starts hunting down the men responsible. The phrase that got tossed around when this movie came out was NRA propaganda. Not only did it have incredibly bad luck of releasing just a few weeks after the latest US deadly mass shooting, but it also tended to have a very pro-gun approach, which is mainly considered the unpopular opinion, especially since the movie industry is a very left-wing business. Now, revenge flicks aren't anything new. They've been around for as long as there have been guns in movies, but this one is admittedly pretty bland. Is it really as bad as the critic score suggests it is, or is it a mediocre movie that came out at a bad time and therefore became a scapegoat for critics who were very anti-gun? I gotta say right off the bat, there is a very grindhouse feel to this movie. When the violence hits, you see blood and brains all over the place. It doesn't hold back. It's very reminiscent of early Rodriguez, Quentin Tarantino, when they were starting their careers and they didn't have a lot of money at their disposal. Eli Roth is known for making horror movies with a lot of gore, so it makes sense that a movie like Death Wish does have a lot of gore in it. And even though the body count in this movie isn't that high, the movie does a very good job building up to each kill. It doesn't feel like, oh yay, he shot someone. The movie spends its time setting up the scene and then BLAM! Hits you with a splat of violence. Not a bad way to pace out an action movie. I also found it very interesting that Dean Morris plays the detective who's hunting down Bruce Willis's character, who's becoming a vigilante known as the Grim Reaper. I've heard jokes that Dean Norris is the discount Bruce Willis, so it's kind of funny to see them in a movie together. Not a ha-ha funny, but more like a huh funny. Now, while each kill Bruce Willis makes in this movie does feel like an event in the movie story, everything else about it kind of seems taking place in a city that is notorious for its gun crime. It has moments where they go, are they allowed to say that? It tries to sort of commentate on the police not doing a good enough job catching criminals. There's a scene where Dean Morris is writing up a case slip and he says, "We can do the best we can, but I can't guarantee anything." Then Bruce Willis turns to like this wall of case slips and says, "Yeah? Well, how did it work out for them?" Now this is the first time I've seen Bruce Willis back on the big screen since ages. The last time I saw him, he was on the cover of a $5 DVD down at Walmart. That's probably where he's been for the last few years, churning out crappy straight-to-DVD movies. Which sucks, because when an actor reaches that point in their career, it no longer feels like their name is enough to get you excited to see their movie. Believe it or not, there was a time when Bruce Willis was all you needed to sell a movie. Unfortunately, he seems to be going the route of Steven Seagal. He used to be the best action star in the world. Now he just makes straight-to-DVD crap that goes on sale for like $2. To see him go that route, it's kind of heartbreaking. The plot is pretty paper-thin. You can guess how it's going to end about 20 minutes in, and it more or less ends exactly how you expect. I can't see how this movie is NRA propaganda, but I can see how it's a mediocre action movie. And while there are some cool kills and the casting is nice, the story is incredibly predictable and the acting is and judging by the way this movie ends, I imagine we won't be getting a sequel. Better to die a one-off remake than to live to become an even worse franchise. I sincerely hope Bruce Willis moves on to better things. It's a good way to kill 90 minutes, so check it out if it's on Netflix. Alright, that's my review of Death Wish. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Leave your answer by commenting down below. Hit a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe and hit the bell icon if you're new here. And as always, this is the Canadian Movie Buff saying I hope you had a fantastic weekend at the movies. See ya!